Nice of you to drop in.
Hello people, I'm their comic book gamer, and today Comic Book Resources got interviewed Tony Daniels, who is the writer and artist for the new Deathstroke book. I just hit my mic. For the new Deathstroke book that is coming in the New 52 in October. And yeah, so we got a few new details and stuff. I'm really excited. We had gotten a previous interview when this book was announced by MTV, and now we got one from Comic Book Resources, and I'm just really excited. I'm just gonna be my phone just went off. I'm just going to be talking about some of the stuff that I was really excited about that we did not know already in the that he didn't talk about in the interview. He didn't really reveal too much. So yeah, he was saying as an advantage for him to be writing and being the artist, he gets to put what's in his mind on the page. To where, you know, otherwise other things, when the writer and artist are different, the writer may have a totally different thing in his head than the artist is doing, but since he's both, he's able to do it, and that sounds really awesome to me. I can't wait. He said, there's so many things I want to do with the character and so many directions that I want to go. I want people to feel invested in the character and invested in his missions. This sounds awesome. And he also said they're not going to just be missions for hire or flavor of the week bad guys that he's going to fight. The missions that he's going to undertake are going to be a little more personal to him. I hope that translates into people wanting to follow his story. This sounds so awesome. He's not just trying to be like, hey, Deathstroke's a badass, you guys should be awesome, and you guys should just be interested in it because he's cutting people's heads off. No, he's trying to make people more interested in the story, because that was what pretty much the New 52 tried to do with Deathstroke, was like, hey, look, he can slice people's throats and stuff. Don't you guys want that? No? Okay, we'll cancel the book. So yeah, he's trying to get people interested in the story, but not to say that there's going to be a bunch of boring stuff. There's still going to be action. He said, to be honest, I'm looking at a year out. The road is a long journey, and it's not something that's going to be resolved in the first arc, which is going to be between 5 and 6 issues. So yeah, 5 and 6 issues for the first arc. You know, that's normal. Nothing like oh my gosh, that's normal. He said it's going to be a long arc though, which sounds awesome because lately the books from the New 52 has felt pretty short. Like Grayson and Suicide Squad, I liked Grayson, but Suicide Squad felt really short, mainly because you had so many characters, and Grayson was good, but it still felt a little short of an issue. And he says, even though it's only 5 and 6 issues, he said it's going to be a really long arc, which I'm excited for. Sounds awesome. But he said this arc, the first arc, is leading to something bigger. He said we'll also have the mysteries and intrigue and thrills and all that other stuff that go along with all of the action that readers want to see with a character like Deathstroke. We want to see him doing what he does best, killing and taking on the biggest and the baddest of the DCU, which sounds so cool, and I can't wait. Yeah, he just sounds really interested and really intrigued and really happy that, like, DC's giving him the reins to write Deathstroke, and he sounds really excited about it, and that's what you want from a writer, and I can't wait. He said he said the fun part of the job is getting to write a character that is essentially looked upon by the DCU's superheroes as a bad guy, as a villain, and for the most part, he is a villain. When it comes to their adventures together, he said, I get to take a guy that is essentially a bad guy and get to put him in situations where he is a good guy. Which sounds interesting. Like I said in my thoughts on the whole Deathstroke reboot series, I said it's interesting because we are getting the perspective of Deathstroke the villain, to where the 90s Marv Wolfman run for Deathstroke was of Deathstroke the anti-hero. You saw that he was actually a good guy, but from the good guy's perspective, he was a bad guy. And in this, he's saying he's a bad guy, but he's going against really bad people. And so he's making him, a protagonist that you're not going to be like, why is he slaughtering innocents or anything like that. He's going against all these bad guys, and so yeah. Another thing he said, basically, Deathstroke doesn't trust anybody. Even though they're going to pay him, he has to have a certain amount of trust in the character. If I feel like someone from his past makes sense, sure, we'll use him or her, but if they don't, he's not going to use them. So, yeah, that sounds interesting, like all of this does. I like how Deathstroke doesn't trust anybody, sort of like the 90s. He's trying to get more of the Deathstroke back that we all know and love, instead of like recreate the character. He's trying to bring back the 90s Deathstroke that everyone loved. He also said, because this was what I was wondering, since Deathstroke is now in the Suicide Squad. He said this is a Deathstroke centric book. This is a Slade Wilson centric book, and it's not. He said it's not gonna have the Suicide Squad in it unless they come in organically and fit in with the story, which sounds nice. He's not trying to push it. He's not gonna be like, hey, the Suicide Squad, like DC's been pushing the Suicide Squad a lot lately. So yeah, interesting. I can't wait. Link in the description if you want to read the full article for yourself. I just touched on some of the stuff. I can't wait. Super excited. Deathstroke's back in the New 52. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like.